There's been a longing for a forum within the last 5-6 years for experts to gather together. I recall when I was in my capacity in-house in William Fry, I used to meet up with a few of my counterparts over a cup of coffee just to discuss the market trends generally. And so something like this, you'll see the numbers today, it's growing year on year. It's an excellent forum for people to exchange ideas, discuss relevant case law, emerging technologies, and even moving forward, I founded the ACEDS Ireland chapter, which is going to be a board set up for Q1 next year, and we will be again discussing recent events, try to generate an environment whereby people can converse with one another in a pragmatic way to move forward. The most obvious one that comes to mind has been predictive coding. That was given legal endorsement by Judge Fulham on the 3rd of March 2015 in the IBRC versus Quinn case. In my experience, it hasn't skyrocketed. There's been a prudent conservatism by lawyers, which is understandable. No one wants their client's data to be used as a guinea pig. But slowly but surely, I've been using it this year and my previous capacity in an in-house law firm. More and more AI is being approached in a more positive manner, such as concept searching, thematic searching, domain parsing. All above that, it's really about generating an environment whereby people can understand what information they have and try and deal with that accordingly. We're in an environment now whereby we're now generating 5 exabytes of data every 2 to 7 days. Prior to 2003, that's all we had created. So we're now trying to handle this data, narrow it down, and provide it in a format that's pragmatic and sensible. Most people can agree that the big bugbear with discovery is cost and timing, and I think what differentiates Consilio from the rest of the pack is our proactive approach. You're familiar with EGRM, it's been talked about for several years at this conference. Everything really starts with identification. You have your discovery order, you have your data subject access request, or an investigation starts, and you have to start looking for who are the key players, where are the relevant data sources. To my mind, there's not enough applied thought put towards more the information governance side. So that would be the general trend that I see moving forward, and that's why I hope for us to move forward in that area.
Right. Wonderful, that's great.
I see with the interesting divergence of the UK and Irish judiciary system, potentially we'll be migrating away from categories. There was a proposal made by a CLAI subcommittee earlier this year, which I suspect will be spoken about later on today. Interestingly enough, the UK legal system are looking to introduce a category approach to discovery. With the approach proposed, if we do go down that way, I actually see it front-loading eDiscovery from a consultancy perspective. I think gone are the days where you would just engage a provider, hand them your data, they process and away you go. It's more emphasis needs to be applied on scoping. That coupled with GDPR, which came in the 25th of May this year, people have a greater awareness of their information, the sensitivity of it, personal data, what's confidential. So even looking further beyond that to the CRH case with CCPC, that was a very important ruling. Factoring that into account, people will be more interested in applying their time and resources towards scoping. For me, scoping is the most important aspect of eDiscovery. The more time you spend towards that, the more cost effective it will be. It'll allow you to streamline the subsequent phases. That's where I feel most service providers will be going. They should certainly be going in that direction to assist law firms, corporates, financial institutions.